Hello and welcome to another video. So I found this blood deck that was fairly interesting to me. It is a neutral blood deck, as most blood decks are now, because you are looking for that fast damage and neutral can provide that. So this was posted on Twitter. I can't remember exactly who posted it. It was just scrolling through the Shadowverse _deck section on Twitter, and this caught my interest, so I clicked on the Shadow Portal link and loaded it up. I loaded up about 6 decks at the same time, so I couldn't tell you which come from where, so I do apologize about that, but I will have a link to this deck in the description below as normal. So this deck is very highly aggressive. Obviously goblins, mermans, lyrials, everything in this deck is basically designed to either 1, deal damage, or 2, get you a card that deals damage. So Bahamuts and Pure-Hearted Singers, both are your draw cards. They will get you the damage you need. Everything else is literally just designed to deal damage. So Actress boosts everything on your board, Angel of Word, Fallen, Lyrials, they're all 1 pings. Dark General being a 1 of, just for that extra 4 storm when you need it. 3 Savage Wolf for that 2 damage. Phantom Cat as a 4 damage potential. 2 damage kind of minimum is what you're after, but if you're really unlucky you will get 0. Demonic Storm, 3 damage plus board clear, helps you remove wards while at the same time being able to set up your following turns. And of course things like Snarling Chain that also removes wards and deals some damage. So like I said, everything in this deck is designed to either 1, deal damage, or draw a card that deals damage, or is just really aggressive, which is Goblin and Wise Merman. They're basically, you want to play those on turn 1, or just use Wise Merman in the early to mid game to boost up, say, Goblin or Lyrial, or something that you've already got. Otherwise, that's about it for the summary of the deck, and we'll get right into some games and check it out. So the first match I'm going to look at is Dragon. Dragon is still super good, super popular, and super OP. So beating Dragon is pretty exciting, especially when you literally roll them just pure damage. No matter what they do, you just roll them over. So we start off with what I would consider a very average hand. I mean, it's definitely not the best, but it's not the worst either. We've got a solid curve, and that's pretty important. Wise Merman on 1, it might not be that great, but it's better than playing 0 cards on turn 1 with a deck as aggressive as this one. So we do get to drop that. They do go for the Dragon Summoner, pretty predictable. They want that early tutor, get whatever they can from their deck. Make sure their draws are always better from then on. We do a similar thing, we go with the Bahamut because we can on turn 2, pulling a blood card, just meaning we don't have to draw into it later. And because we don't need to worry about Bahamut coming down later. Fortunately, we only did get to ping 1 damage. It would have been nice if we got some more out of it, but I'll settle for this. So I do go for the Pure Heart, again, looking for more draw power, especially since I do have Actress, which is actually going to be a half decent play soon, being able just to drop the Actress on the board. But Dragon Scythe kind of ruins that plan, because now I'm forced to play Snarling Chains, really. I suppose I can still drop Actress and clear this 1-1, while at the same time dealing 2 damage. Or we can just drop a Lyrial and use that instead and leave the Actress for the next turn and set up even more potential damage. We had a few good courses of action, and I think this one is just fine. Especially since we also have Fallen, Actress, and Goblin. We can actually drop all 3 of those together, evolve with Actress, and give a boost to our Fallen and to our Goblin. Which, if even one thing on this board sticks around, would be crazy, but all of them stick around. So we've actually got whatever we really want to use now. Do decide to go for Pure Heart though, because they did pass. If they had have dropped something on board, I definitely would have went with the 3 cards that I said before, just because they would have put more pressure down. And at this point, I know that Salamander can drop, so playing a Angel and a Goblin and stuff that could probably just be cleared would be a little bit risky. Although they do go for Sybil. They also go for Dragon Sword with the Evolve by the looks of it. So they are going to clear the 5-4, but they're going to leave everything else up and heal for 3, which isn't going to be a big help for them. Not right now, anyway. Because at this point, I've got a good amount of burst damage in my hand, so I can just deal that. Drawing that Actress is even crazier, though. That Evolve has allowed us to both clear and gain 4 points of stats permanently. And puts us out of range of basically all their AoE except for Bahamut. Bahamut is literally their only answer to this current board, and that is absolutely crazy. And even if they Bahamut, we drop Demonic, game. We drop Savage Wolf and Fallen, that's also game. Isra's better because they do get the heal, which makes things a little trickier, but Isra isn't going to clear this board. So it doesn't matter what they really did here, I think we would have them. Because I don't think they could do a board clear and heal at the same time. Not completely, not with the stat lines we'd left up. So with the 6 damage on board, Savage Wolf, Evil, Demonic Storm, we had more than enough damage to go for lethal. Ending Dragon's life prematurely. The next matchup is Burn Rune. So, some of the more popular meta decks coming out today. I like showing off decks that are like underdogs, and winning against meta decks is always fun. So, we draw again a pretty similar hand to last time. Wise Merman, Bahamut, Pure-Hearted Singer. Pretty much the same. They do the same sort of functions as a basic, so that's fine. We do see Witch's Cauldron. Not too surprising there. Anytime you can get that out on one, you're going to do it as Rune, so I'm not really surprised by that play at all. And Dwarven Alchemist, again, extremely predictable play. They're just strong plays in general, so there's not much that you can do even when you can predict them, but at least you know what to expect, which is okay. So I do get to drop Baphomet. I'm kind of hoping it would be the trade potential against this 2-2. That way I don't have to waste too much. Not so lucky though, Mage of Nightfall comes down. And it looks like they're probably going to use that 2-2 against the 1-1. But I've got some options. I can deal some more damage to face, mainly because I just pretty much am forced to ignore this board at this point. I did use the 1 ping to clear that 2-1, just because I didn't want to take too much damage, but I had to pretty much ignore everything else. It's kind of sad. But Actress and the Fallen, pretty good combination. We get the same amount of evolve points, but we also get a way to trade with this 4-3. So we're not losing out on damage with this evolve, and we're actually getting a free trade. It's basically a 2 extra on board while at the same time dealing damage, so I don't mind that too much at all. So they're at 11 on 5. Lyriel, that kind of feels bad, because they do get to clear 2 things and still leave their Lyriel up. But I do have at least 7 damage if I use the evolve on the Savage Wolf. Especially now that I got Razor Claw, that's going to make this pretty much game. Because there's only 1 left on board here, and that is crazy to think about. 1 point of health left for this Rune player, and that's all they've got. And that's going to lead them to quit, which doesn't surprise me, because we pretty much could have went for lethal any time there. And our final game is against another reasonably popular deck, Haven. Haven has been pretty good in tournaments all around this year, making it into the top 2 in the Zotac Cup. Haven was pretty solid there, and quite surprising. Pretty sure the top player also had it as well, so Haven definitely really showing its mettle in tournaments, especially JCG. I've noticed it in a lot of the top spots. People are taking Haven. So Baphomet, Fallen, and Savage Wolf, all pretty good. The main thing against this Haven player that we need to not see is healing, or just that we can out-damage them before that point. Really, you're looking at around turn 7 when something like Curate can drop is when you're really in trouble. So it is a bit of a risk to try and beat them, but it's not impossible. You can definitely win this matchup if you get a little bit lucky and they get a little bit unlucky. It's definitely in Haven's favour though, so do keep that in mind with this match. So 2 damage straight to the face, plus an extra 1 off the Fallen, and throw out the Goblin for good measure. I felt like that was a little bit better than playing the Savage Wolf. We get 3 damage instead of 4, but we also have split our bodies up between 2, so it's not going to be as killable from this point from anything from hand. So they do go for some more healing. A little annoying, they are running frogs, so that's painful for me to have to deal with. But also not the worst thing in the world, especially since we did draw Actress, so I can literally board flood this turn, set up Actress, use it to trade, get an extra 2 damage off this, plus set up Lyriel with even more stats. That's just a really good setup. Definitely not the best play, but still not the worst either. Although they do go for the Grim, which makes my life a little difficult, and they're going to be able to remove 3 of my followers. 2 with the turtles, 1 with that banish. Ugh, never a good time when that's happening to you. So this next turn is a little awkward, honestly. I can pretty much Angel, ping some damage to face, use it as an evolve trade, and then get another 4 damage. Does leave them on 8, which is going to actually be pretty easy for me to do. I mean, Phantom Cat, if I can get 4 off that, put them to 4, as long as they're not healing on turn 7, we actually have a chance at closing out the game. Especially since they've just played this Pegasus and not really anything else. And left up this 2-1 so far, but they are going to trade, so it's a little bad. I'll be honest though, I make kind of a bad play here, kind of an okay play. I should have probably went with the Demonic Storm instead, only because Demonic Storm would have cleared this board, but in saying that, it means Dullahan and the thing would have come back next turn anyway, and it wouldn't have helped me overall, which is kind of disappointing. I'm just lucky they didn't have an evolve here, and that healing really crippled my game plan. Basically forcing me to play Demonic Storm this turn. And another slight misplay with this that I really should have done, I should have been playing Goblin on the evolve, not Wise Merman, just because Goblin would have actually survived the attack against this 3-2, instead of Merman dying. So those couple of plays made it a little tougher on me, but not impossible. I mean, they're down to 3 cards, one of which I guarantee is going to be an Aegis setup. So if I can just get them within lethal range this turn, even if they drop Aegis on turn 9, there's nothing they can really do. Their only risk is that they heal. But we have a chance, and our top deck is legendary, getting that Razor Claw. 3 damage, about the only thing in the deck left that could kill them. And I happened to draw it, so amazing luck with that last match too, so I really enjoyed that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck as much as I did. It's some great fun and surprisingly was doing quite well for me. I don't know how long it could keep doing well for me. I only played a good probably 3 to 5 match ranges with it, like that were actually good matches. And those 3 were probably the better ones. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe. You'll find the deck list in the description below. Be sure to check out the Shadowverse. We have regular tournaments and everything like that going on, so you can find all the info down there. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.